Hi everybody. If we look a little tired, it's because we just watched 6.5 hours of movies, 2 hours of Justice League, and 4 hours of Justice League again, the Zack Snyder cut. And I guess we have some thoughts.
I just finished watching the Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, and while it blew the 2017 release, theatrical release out of the water, I will say that, okay, so I have a couple of problems with the release. All the opera music, the slow, drawn-out opera music that was in it, it really made the movie drag. And when I say drag, it's a 4-hour movie to begin with. So yeah, it is long. And the reason it's 4 hours is because they did give us so much background of all of the different characters. That said, you can't cram all of the backstories to all of the characters into one movie successfully without making it long and drawn out, which I found this was. It was not until the second half of the movie that things really started to pick up. There was a lot of different footage that was not in the theatrical release, and I really liked that. A lot of the visual effects and even the story narrative was a little different, which was good. I enjoyed watching this better than the 2017 release, but I honestly think maybe they should have done something where they took this one movie and cut it down into maybe 2 shorter movies, or even make a trilogy out of it, if at all possible. But a 4-hour long movie that is basically just 4 hours to give you the backstory is a little much.
If I was to see this Zack Snyder cut in theaters, I would have said, boy, did I get my money's worth, because I'm in a theater for 4 hours watching this movie. Whether it was better or not, you got double the amount of time.
Let's just start off by saying, yes, we know we're going to get a bunch of people that are big DC fans, and they're going to come by the channel, and they're going to see us talking, and if we're critical, we're going to get a whole bunch of thumbs down. But what you have to understand is that we're normies, okay? We're watching the movies, we don't read the comic books, we don't go to websites and look up all the lore. We're just basing our criticism on the movie.
Movie buffs.
Okay.
We're movie buffs. You know what? I have watched the cartoons for Justice League. Okay. I will admit that.
But that's the extent of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a big gung-ho.
If you can't handle normies talking about the movie, this is probably not the video you want to watch.
But you want to watch it anyway. You just want to cringe and watch what we say. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. It was long, though.
Okay, so wait. We watched the original Justice League again.
Yes.
Just so we can compare and contrast. And what did you think of the rewatch?
I did. Justice League was one of my most disappointing of all superhero movies. They rushed the characters getting together. Aquaman hadn't come out yet, so we only had Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman as their origins. So we knew nothing about Cyborg, we knew nothing about Flash, we knew nothing about Aquaman. We knew what are their powers, what are they going to do, and even in the movie, the Flash really didn't know what his superpowers were, and Cyborg didn't know what his powers were, so it was like a bunch of mystery where they should have had those set-up movies. This is the culmination of all your heroes. It should not have been rushed into one movie. They were trying to catch up with Marvel.
You know
and
what?
They didn't.
On the rewatch,
yes,
I actually enjoyed it more than the first time I saw it. I picked out a bunch of really decent dialogue that I liked. Pretty cool lines.
My man. You're like the my man.
I like Jason Momoa.
I do too. I do.
And I was not as disappointed as the first time I saw it. And I said, oh, well, great. You know, it's a good starting point for going into watching the Snyder cut, which is going to be the best movie ever, right? Because everybody's anticipating it. Well,
also, on the first one, The ending was horrible. The Russian family was horrible. No one cared. The green CGI battle at the end was boring as heck. It was a terrible, terrible ending in that movie.
It was a CGI fest.
Super, but terribly done. And also, Superman was God. He didn't need the other guys.
No, well,
He just needed to show up and go, is this guy still bothering you? Here, let me take him out all by myself.
it was a movie about resurrecting Superman.
Yeah, but it's called Justice League. They have to work together for a reason, and in that one, they did not need anybody but Superman.
Well, I assume that in the comics, they don't need anybody other than Superman either.
No, there's always something that they have to do as a team.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Snyder Cut.
All right, it was long.
It was freaking long.
Well, maybe we're just tired,
No.
but it was long.
There are segments in this movie.
That go on.
Like, you know, the Russian family he says in the first movie that nobody cares about?
They're not even in it.
Holy
like-
smokes. Lois Lane. Lois Lane scenes in this movie, there's about 4 of them.
She's important now.
They seem to go on forever and there's no point to them.
Yeah.
She's sad. She's sad. And oh, memories. I haven't been able to work because I'm just so sad. And there's 4 of those and they feel like they're 20 minutes each. And once they're done with the scene, okay, that's it. It didn't mean anything.
No. However, the reason it was so long is that they started filling in the backstories. Instead of making a single movie, we got the backstory to Cyborg, which was a good chunk of this film, a lot of the segments. And so, where in the first one, all they ever said was, you know, every day I'm changing, and all of a sudden, he flies up, he comes down. Couldn't do that yesterday. That's the entire explanation of Cyborg in the first movie. In this one, they showed how he became, what happened, why he's not fully in control. They did, at least we explained who he is more.
Now, for me, that was bittersweet.
Okay.
Because Cyborg's an interesting character.
Yeah.
And the backstory is something that I would be interested in.
Yes.
But Marvel went and did a movie for each of the characters.
Yes.
And we're left with like a 30-minute backstory to Cyborg crammed into this movie.
Yes.
That not only does it not give us enough of what we want, but it doesn't fit inside this movie.
No.
So,
It's an origin story that they were just telling us.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, people said that there's not enough like origin story for Cyborg and they're missing that, so let's cram it into this movie.
Yeah.
And it's going to make the movie feel really long.
It's like if you went and saw Suicide Squad and they remade it, and then you found out the entire backstory for Boomerang, and then you found out the entire backstory for the guy who got his head blown off at the beginning there, Twist Knot or whatever his name is, or the guy who could climb really well. It's out of place in this movie. It didn't need to be there. It needed to be before this.
But DC were so jealous of Marvel and their expanded universe and coming together with the Avengers that they decided to rush it.
Yeah.
And they screwed everything up.
Well, even Batman versus Superman, they rushed. Right? They put the death of Superman into Doomsday.
Well, I don't know how the comics go.
It was just dumb.
But that's where they did it? Okay, fine. I just thought that, like, they needed to go through a whole bunch more steps before they came out with the Justice League movie.
The end scene, the end battle, I preferred.
Okay, the end battle was action CGI porn. And it went on for a very long time.
Very long time.
And it was very, a lot of stuff happened. It was enjoyable, but it was very long.
Yes.
However, you have Superman, like you said, come in, and he's like, it's a god. Like, he can defeat everybody. There's no concern.
But they fail. He fails. He actually dies again. And the Flash brings him back by rewinding time with the Flashpoint.
Okay, but they bring Superman,
Yes.
and nothing can hurt him.
No, but he was, if you remember the first battle, Superman shows up, punches them all over the place, oh, I better go save some people out there, flies away, carries an apartment building, saves the people, comes back, says, is this guy bothering you again? Couple more punches, and the whole fight scene was basically him beating him up. In this one, he shows up, he saves Cyborg, and he starts taking it. But in the meantime, the rest of that whole long battle, Superman wasn't even there yet. Because they didn't know if Superman was going to show up.
True.
So that's what made this one better. They were willing to go and die and fight for humanity, not knowing if Superman would even show up.
Yeah, that's great. But in a world with Superman, when Superman is there, you know you're going to win.
Yes.
There's no, oh, I wonder if they're going to win. I'm on the edge of my seat. No. Superman's there and he's kicking butt, and
you can say
the villain that was really tough throwing everybody around, well, he's like a flea to Superman. So now we're thinking, oh, okay, great. We see Superman punching him around a lot, and that's it.
Yeah. But that could be any superhero movie because if you think about it, well, if the Hulk's there, the Hulk just gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more he gets hurt, so he's invincible. We have Captain Marvel, she's invincible. Yeah, they're all invincible.
Okay, what did you like? What did you like about this one more than the original?
If I could cut out scenes, I think the story fell together better in this one.
No. What did you like about the movie? Okay,
I like the ending scenes much better. I like
which one?
The battle scene. The whole battle scene at the end.
Okay, the battle scene. That's not the ending scene. Because there's an hour after that.
But the battle scene. I'm talking about the big resolution at the end.
Okay.
I preferred that. I preferred the fact that they actually explained how they found the box. They didn't call it a mother box every 10 seconds, and the bad guy didn't, mother, where are you, mother? Yes, mother, all the time through the movie. That's the most pathetic bad guy you could ever imagine when he's saying that all the time. And also, in this one, it wasn't this guy fighting at the beginning against all the League of Humans. It was actually Darkseid who lost the battle, right? So I like that as well. A lot of the dialogue, they took out some of the corny things. Right at the beginning, Superman and that stupid mustache that was missing there from the beginning when he interviewed the kids, and he looked ridiculous because he was filming Mission Impossible, and they did the reshoot, and he wasn't allowed to shave his mustache, so they CGI'd it, and it looked like this. That's not even in there anymore. They took it completely out. All the stupid CGI garbage that was in that stuff. Dialogues like when Lois and him first arrive at the farm, and he says something to her, and she goes, in the first movie, she goes, oh, you smell nice. And he goes, did I not before? In this one, she goes, you spoke, because up until then, he hadn't spoken a word. Since he was resurrected.
These are make or break things for you?
I'm just saying, better dialogue. To me, it was much better dialogue. Even between the characters. Aquaman's not sitting on the magic lasso and spilling about how he's afraid to die before going into battle. It's more of along the lines of, I never said I didn't care about Cyborg. We see some emotion that way as opposed to silly emotion. At the end, when they pull the mother boxes apart and there's an explosion, they're not sitting there laughing saying, oh, I wish I was dead, I changed my mind. No, it's not stupid comedy in places where it shouldn't be comedy. And so I thought it was much better dialogue. The green CGI everywhere is gone from the final battle scene. There's CGI everywhere, don't get me wrong. But it's not that lime green garbage that was in the first one. Also, you don't have that plant-like thing chasing cars down the road for no reason in that one. A lot of dumb things from that first one that they fixed. And two and a half hours, this movie could have been epic. Instead, 4 hours just to say, look at all the stuff I could have put in that I didn't.
I liked how they included Darkseid in it.
Yeah.
And there's this new story where Steppenwolf is, all he's doing is trying to seek redemption by doing something that Darkseid wants so that he can get back in his good graces.
Yeah.
And you do see Darkseid, and you see Darkseid's henchman, who's pretty menacing himself. And I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
What about the music?
Music is horrible. Sorry, I forgot about that. There is scenes like he just meets Barry Allen. Batman meets Barry Allen, and during that scene, they're talking, and the music's like da-da-da-da-dum, 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 and then they're agreeing. He's eating some pizza. They're walking out to his car. Da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da. I'm going, what's happening? That this is so exciting. Why is this music so exciting? And then all of a sudden, every time you see the Amazons, it's like you're from Middle Earth, and you have the Lord of the Rings soundtrack playing in the back. Oh, what was the Swedish people singing to Aquaman? What is this? Who wrote the music for this? This was the dumbest soundtrack I've ever listened to. But one thing I liked, they did the Wonder Woman soundtrack during the final fight scene when she started fighting. That's her music. That should always play when she's fighting. Wonder Woman 84, you left it out, and your music...
No, they did it.
Very soft for about a half a second.
Well, it's still there.
You left it out. It was dumb. This movie at least put it back in, and it fit where they put it in. It wasn't random music. But the rest of this music, seemed to be they dubbed it over, as opposed to writing music for the scene. They dubbed the music into the scene, and it just didn't fit.
I thought,
sorry, Batman.
People were waiting for this movie, and it's some kind of triumph that they got the Snyder Cut actually released.
They actually got permission to do it, yeah.
And I know there's going to be a lot of people that love the fact that it was actually made, and it's not evil Joss Whedon's work. But remember, Joss Whedon, although he's getting a lot of flack for being a pretty cruel guy on set and that kind of stuff, he did Firefly. He did the screenplay for Toy Story. He did Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I have no problem with him. And he stepped into a bad situation and had to work with what he had.
Exactly. I appreciate how Joss Whedon took all this material, okay, and he cut it down to a 2-hour movie. Thank you, Joss Whedon, because editing is good. Now, maybe it could have been improved had Snyder had some input and they did a few things differently. But the 2 hours of Justice League that we got from Joss Whedon, I still prefer over this 4-hour Snyder Cut.
Well, I think only because it's 4 hours.
No, don't get me wrong. I wanted to, trash Joss Whedon. Just because he's the bad guy right now, right? And everybody's, yeah, Snyder, okay? I really appreciate the original Justice League more now that I see what this 4-hour bloated extravaganza was.
However, if I was to say, okay, take the lines that I said that were dumb, take that comedy stuff out.
You know what? No. You cannot eliminate all the comedy because DC is too dark.
No.
You have Jason Momoa in this movie and you're not going to let him do cheesy lines? You can't. That's Jason Momoa.
They still had some cheesy lines in the movie, but I mean the dumb lines like you smell good and just completely... he didn't need to sit on the lasso. We've shown that. I didn't miss that scene.
I liked the lasso scene.
I didn't miss it at all. Put the fight scene, take all that green out of the first one and keep this fight scene.
Okay,
I prefer the fight scene.
You can't tell me in this movie that the Flash didn't have a lot of lines that could have been cut out.
Of course, it's 4 hours. They all could have had lines cut out.
Yeah, but he had a lot of lines that were cheesy and should have been cut out. It's not like the original Justice League was bad for that and this one wasn't.
Okay, but you know what else? The Flash should never run with his eyes closed because he trips a lot. And he would have been dead many times in this movie because he'll fall and smash into a wall at his speed.
Yeah,
now,
and he doesn't have superpowers.
No, but he can heal himself. He can speed up his healing. But
if he kills himself first.
But crushing yourself face first into cement walls at hyper speed, you're not going to quickly heal yourself. No. So yeah, there are flaws. Absolutely. I'm kind of like...
Okay. Listen, I don't know the backstory of the black Superman suit.
Yes.
But everybody wanted it in the original Justice League. They say, when he comes back, he's going to be wearing the black suit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, he comes back in this movie. Obviously, there were spoilers in this video.
Yeah.
But he comes back, and before he joins the fight, he makes the decision to put on the black Superman suit. There's no significance of it whatsoever. He's just going through his wardrobe and he decides to put on the black one to join the fight. Now, I don't know if the black suit is supposed to be some epic thing in the comics. This was not epic. He's just wearing a black suit.
Yeah, no, this is not where the black suit was supposed to show up.
I'm sure that there are going to be fans out there that are saying, what the heck?
Yeah. All this was, the reason he put a black suit on is to lead into the next movie. That's the only reason. Because now he's the black wearing suit Superman. That's the only reason.
Like, there should have been something. Something.
Now, see, when he originally comes back from being dead, he's wearing a black suit. And no one knows why he's wearing a black suit. It's part of the mystery of Superman coming back to life. That's the problem. This didn't set any of that up. So that's the problem. All right. 4.5 hours. Way too long. Way too long. Like, if they would have cut this down to a 2.5 hour movie, maybe, I think our rating feeling to it might have been much higher.
You know what? They could not have cut this movie down to 2.5 hours because they needed 5 more movies before this movie.
Well, yeah. But
this movie does not work.
But they needed that for Justice League, the first one, too.
Yes.
So but I'm saying you like the first one more than this one. Right now is what you just said it a few minutes ago.
No, I appreciate the first one.
Okay.
More.
What I'm saying is, like, if you look at the first one, you go, well, after I look at it again, it's not bad. If this one was cut down to 2.5 hours, 2 hours, we'd probably feel the same way. This had too many scenes in it that just went, oh. At one point, we said, oh, how much time is left? There was 2 hours left when we said it the first time. And we said, Superman's not even back yet. It's 2.5 hours into the movie. Superman hasn't come back yet. So we knew we were in for a long, rough ride.
Is this a must-see?
No. Well, you know what? If you're a DC fan, it's a must-see to compare the two movies.
But only to compare.
Only to compare.
Only to compare.
It doesn't revolutionize anything. It does give you more backstory for, like, some of the characters.
Yeah, you get to see Darkseid.
You get to see Darkseid. You get the lead into possibly the black suit Superman. So there's a lot of things. If you're a DC fan, it's really, and you know what, if you're a movie fan and you're interested in the next, even if you're just a superhero movie fan,
you get the extra music.
You get that lovely music, and you get to see some 3 Swedish women singing to the water
and sniffing sweaters.
And by the way, Jason Momoa, every scene he's taking off something. Every scene. I started counting. It seemed like every scene they had to make him take off something. And why does he keep putting it on? Because he takes it off every time he gets someplace. But yeah, it's...
Out of 10.
You know what? It's just too long. 6. It's a 6. Had they shortened it to 2.5, it might have become a 7, like an okay movie. Not a great movie, but an okay movie. Like, superhero movies aren't meant to be the end-all, be-all of movies. They're meant to be fun and enjoyable. And I found myself not fun and not enjoyable. I like some scenes, but I got bored because it was so long. And you know what? I've seen a lot of the scenes before. That didn't help. So what did you say?
Yeah, the length was definitely an enjoyment factor. Yeah, it could have been a 7, but it's not. So I have to give it a 6 because there were still some good performances and good visuals.
I did appreciate they filmed Wonder Woman differently in this one. There was no more butt shots going up an elevator and going upstairs and walking away from the camera. That Joss Whedon just focused on her butt. This was just Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman is the key in this story as far as who's the most strongest out of who's left. But yeah, that music for the Amazons, what were they thinking? I don't understand why they suddenly became Middle-earth. Mm-hmm. Because none of the other Wonder Woman movies had that.
Actually, that was one of the better parts of the movie, too. Like, they really expanded the big battle with the Amazons and when Steppenwolf just showed up. So that was a
they didn't just get wiped out like this, like in the first movie. They put up a big fight. However, I kept saying to myself, Queen, get going.
Yeah, she really took her time.
She took her time a lot, and she even stopped a few times. The fate of the world is to get this box away from him. But let me stop leaving and walk over to the Amazon warrior and talk to her for a few seconds.
Oh, there's even one part where everything's happening inside their little temple, and she's got to get away. And so what does she do? And she runs up on the wall, and then she drops down in front of the doorway, and then nothing.
Yeah.
So why'd she do that?
I don't like just
go.
run. You know, it's like in Independence Day. They're about to be attacked by aliens. The world's in danger. Let's take time out and get married. You yell at the screen when you see scenes like that. Run! Because it doesn't make sense. But they like to put those things in because it showed she cared for her people. But we knew she cared for the people. We didn't need to see that.
So I gave it a 6.
I gave it a 6.
We don't know what Mark gave it, but I'll put it in here somewhere.
Mark loved it.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Right on par with Star Wars. All right. I don't know how much of this we're going to keep in. Editing is our friend. We might edit it all out. We might keep it all in. But until next time, 6, and Mark says...
Is a little much.
Best movie ever. Until next time, why not check out some more of our other videos? Check out our Snyder Cut trailer review. You can see...
that's relevant.
You can see how anticipated we were for this movie before this. So there. At least it's not me pounding my head on the table like it was for Coming to America 2. And until next time, we'll see you on the channel.